Ford's F-150 isn't just a truck. For decades, it's been America's best-selling pickup, a symbol of reliability and toughness. Families, workers, and businesses have trusted it to get the job done. But now, that trust is breaking apart. Ford has recalled more than 277,000 trucks, and the issues behind this recall are bigger and scarier than anyone expected. We're not talking about small glitches. We're talking about engines failing, trucks stalling at high speeds, and even vehicles catching fire. For the truck once called unstoppable, that's a serious blow. So what exactly went wrong, and why do so many owners feel betrayed? Let's dive in. At the center of the storm is Ford's EcoBoost engine, once sold as powerful and long-lasting. But instead of lasting hundreds of thousands of miles, some engines failed in less than 10,000. The problem comes from intake valves, small but critical parts. In some trucks, these valves shatter. When they do, broken pieces fall into the cylinder, pistons smash apart, and the engine is destroyed in seconds. Drivers describe the experience as terrifying. One moment you're towing or cruising, the next, your truck is dead weight in fast-moving traffic. Now think about what happens when a truck stalls at highway speeds. You lose power steering, braking gets harder, and you're left trying to guide a 5,000-pound vehicle as cars race past. Owners have shared frightening stories. One driver's truck cut out while merging, another lost power while hauling a horse trailer. These aren't small problems. They're life-threatening failures. Now, as if safety wasn't enough, the money side of this is crushing. An F-150 isn't cheap. Families spend $30,000, $40,000, even $60,000 expecting a reliable truck that lasts for years. Instead, some ended up with engines that failed within months. Repairing or replacing these engines isn't pocket change. It often costs thousands, sometimes close to what you'd pay for a new vehicle down payment. And here's where it stings even more: warranties. Some owners were denied coverage because the failure happened just after their warranty expired. Others had to wait months for parts to arrive. Even those promised reimbursements said payments were delayed or unclear. In the meantime, they still had truck payments to make, with no working truck to drive. The resale value has tanked too. Used F-150s, once considered a safe buy, are now sitting unsold on lots. Dealers hesitate to take them, and private buyers demand big discounts. Families who thought they could trade in their truck for something newer are left stuck. So how did Ford handle it? The company issued recalls and made public statements stressing safety. On the surface, it looked responsible, but owners tell a different story. Complaints had been filed years before the recalls. Some fixes were only partial. Parts took months to arrive, and people who paid for repairs out of pocket often waited endlessly for reimbursement. For many, Ford's response felt less like accountability and more like corporate spin. The valve issue wasn't the only problem. Soon, fuel pump defects surfaced. Faulty parts caused engines to stall, leaving more drivers stranded. And then came another blow: misaligned plugs in the engine that caused oil leaks. When oil dripped onto hot surfaces, some trucks caught fire. At that point, it was impossible to call this bad luck. Analysts pointed out a clear pattern: weak testing, rushed production, and suppliers under pressure. Ford's push to modernize and retool factories may have come at the cost of quality. The problems caught the attention of regulators and lawyers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opened investigations. Class action lawsuits were filed, claiming Ford sold defective trucks while failing to warn customers. Ford's legal team argued the recalls proved they acted responsibly, but critics said the fixes came too late, leaving thousands of owners paying the price. The lawsuits, combined with possible fines, could cost the company hundreds of millions. While Ford dealt with lawyers, local dealerships became the punching bags. Angry customers flooded service centers demanding answers. Repair bays filled with broken trucks, waiting lists stretched for weeks, and tempers boiled over. Dealership staff, who had nothing to do with the decisions in Detroit, took the heat. Salespeople who once handed over keys with pride now faced customers who felt betrayed. The impact didn't stay at dealerships. The used truck market tanked. Buyers walked away from deals, scared of ending up with a defective engine. Dealers struggled to move inventory. Owners desperate to sell slash prices. Wall Street took notice too. Analysts downgraded Ford's outlook, pointing to soaring recall costs and falling trust. Each new recall sent stock prices down. Investors started to wonder if Ford's crown jewel, the F-150, was turning into a liability. Inside Ford's plants, workers felt the strain. Lines ran overtime, inspectors faced stricter checks, and morale sank. Many felt the pride they once had in building America's favorite truck slipping away. Union leaders reported burnout, frustration, and fears of job cuts if production moved overseas to cut costs. While Ford scrambled, rivals seized the moment. GM bragged about the Silverado's durability. Ram leaned into comfort and reliability. Toyota highlighted its long-term dependability. Dealerships for these brands saw frustrated Ford owners walking in, ready to switch. Ford's stumble opened the door competitors had been waiting for. And then came the politicians. Ford executives were called to Washington, grilled in front of cameras about why defects weren't caught earlier. Regulators pushed for stricter testing, bigger fines, and tougher rules on recalls. Consumer groups demanded stronger protections, while state attorneys general opened investigations of their own. Suddenly, what started as a mechanical issue became a national debate about auto safety and corporate responsibility. So, what's the lesson here? If the F-150, the most trusted truck in America, can fail this badly, then no vehicle is beyond question. This scandal doesn't just hit Ford, it makes people everywhere rethink how much they can trust any automaker. And with the industry shifting to electric vehicles and new tech, the timing is critical. If engines that have been refined for decades can fail so catastrophically, what about experimental batteries and self-driving systems? The truth is clear. Trust matters more than flashy features. Trucks carry families, businesses, and lives. Once that trust is broken, it's hard to earn back. The F-150 was once called unbreakable, but this scandal proves even legends can crack. And when they do, it isn't just about one company, it's about the promises we put our trust in every time we hit the road. But now, I want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know run into problems with an F-150 or any vehicle recall? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else out there who's going through the same mess. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is far from over. Automakers are racing toward electric trucks and new technology, and the lessons from this scandal matter more than ever. Stay tuned. We'll keep uncovering the truth, one story at a time.